When I started to seek, when I started to dig deeper and want to know things about God, about the Bible, the Trinity was actually a big sticking point for me. It was just answered by saying, you just gotta accept it by faith. I also questioned the veneration to the saints. They're people who determines if they should be canonized or whatever. Those were questions to me that really wasn't answered. My name is Sam Acosta. I was born in the Philippines in San Antonio, Zambales. I was 15 when I moved to the US here in Hawaii. My mom and dad were educators and leaders in our church back home. So a lot of my childhood is spent in church, Catholic church that is. I was an altar boy and choir. I spent some time basically exploring the seminary because I really wanted to be a priest. When I started to seek, when I started to really dig deeper, want to know things about God, about the Bible, the Trinity was actually a big sticking point for me. It was just basically answered by saying, you just gotta accept it by faith. I also questioned the veneration to the saints. They're people who determines if they should be a saint, canonized or whatever. So those were questions that really wasn't answered, or I didn't have a satisfactory explanation. You just have to take everything by faith. Besides work and really concentrating in school, between those things, I forgot about the faith, the spiritual part of my life. After my college, I had a restaurant, opened up a restaurant, and we were catering to outside people, having events at our restaurant. A group of born-again Christians came, made friends with them, and they invited me to one of their church services. So it was great. It was for me, and for a while I attended. That episode didn't last too as well because life was just tough. I just had to put in a lot of time between my work and my schooling. One day, my niece, who was battling cancer, we went to her funeral, and I had my son with me. My son just asked me, "Dad, where is Vicky going?" I wasn't ready for that question, and so I said, "He's going to meet Jesus." And then my son just turned around and asked me, "Dad, who is Jesus?" And then that did it. I just felt like I have a responsibility. I forgot my faith, but I'm responsible for somebody else too now. I said, I have to go to a church, I have to belong to a church, I have to start serving again. One of my clients actually was starting a church in Waikiki, and then he asked me if I'd be willing to help out. I said, yeah, I agreed, so we did, and that's how I ended up with a born-again church in Waikiki. During that time, I was called to do a consulting work over at the Filipino Community Center. Sister Arceli Rebolito, I met her over there. She was the program director over there at that time. We became friends. I noticed that her faith, her religion, is very important to her. Because during midweeks and also during the weekends when we're really busy over there, she has to go to her worship services. One time when I went to go visit her at home, her dad, he asked me to EVM, evangelical mission. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go. Back in my younger days, INC, just a religion that you just don't go to, you don't associate with. I don't know why I felt that, I don't know why I thought that, but you don't go there basically. he asked me. So I said, okay. When I accepted that invitation, I said, I know where I stand. I know my Bible. I know my scriptures. I'm going to see what's wrong with the preaching, and I'm going to point it out. The whole evangelical mission event happened, and there wasn't anything said that I thought it was different. I knew everything that was said. That was Kajirji. Everything that he said was right on. Another thing too was he actually read the scriptures from the Bible when he shared those things. It wasn't just a story like we've always been presented, but it was actually answering questions relating to us using scriptures from the Bible. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's a little bit different. That place of worship in Waipahu was just different. Another thing too that struck me was everything was so orderly. And I had to question, I said, why does the women have to stay on one side and the men have to stay on the other side? That, along with the choir, it just gave me that feeling that this is different. It was peaceful, it was solemn. Everybody was there for that event and not for anything else. After that evangelical mission, they asked me at that time if I wanted to enlist as a Bible student. I said, actually I do, because I do have some questions. And that's when the questions I've had from way back, I wanted to see if they can answer it. And questions I had like Christmas, why are they not celebrating that? Questions about the Trinity. When I asked the minister that, it was so clear. There was no mention in the Bible whatsoever of the Trinity. So that question was settled. I enlisted as a Bible student at that time. And all of a sudden, I couldn't get enough. In fact, I told them at that time, I want to be a part of this church. And they told me, no, you got to go to the doctrinal lessons before you even, before you can be considered to be a part of the church. So I had to go through those lessons. And I'm beginning to love the church. All the while this was happening though, I was still heavily involved with the other church. One Sunday worship service, I got to the worship service in Waipahu, crying. I was just bawling. And I was praying to God. I said, God, I have to serve you. That I promise, that I know I have to do. But you have to tell me, you have to direct me. I cannot be doing this. I cannot be serving and then being a part of both religions. Or just show me a clear sign that I belong here. That's my prayer to Him. And I was crying, like I said, while praying that, because deep in my heart I knew that I wanted to be here. I left after the worship service, dashed out to Waikiki, set up the place. The worship service started. In the middle of the preacher reading the scriptures, he actually stopped and he told us, beginning next week, you guys have to look for your own place of worship. We're not going to have church services anymore. At the same time, it just dawned on me, that's exactly what I was praying for. God didn't just give me a sign. He took away all options. I left that place that day feeling very, like a weight was just taken off my back. When the church was dissolved, it wasn't even the sign that I was asking for. It was a clear, no choice. God said, this is where you belong. So I believe that I was called to be a part of the Church of Christ. From then on, I started to get even more involved with the activities at the Church of Christ. I went to finish up my doctrinal lessons. I had to wait for 6 months. I couldn't wait to get through the probation, and I got baptized in January of 2017. Kalihi, which is my local congregation is right now and where I'm serving as a Buklod president, and also Sister Arceli is a secretary, and we're both deacons and deaconesses too as well, and pretty much involved in everything that the church does, from CFO activities to the propagations. It's a joyful feeling to feel like you've found home, to be where you're supposed to be, to serve the way you're supposed to. The way I cope with problems, I would say, is a lot easier than somebody who only depends on their own abilities, their own resources. While a lot of times I really cast my worries. I just cast my worries to him and pray. I may not receive the answer at that time, but I find peace just by doing that. And eventually, I do get the answer. Maybe not the answer that I want, but I do find the answer. I do get pointed in the right direction. Everything turns out to be good. So I really believe that that's a very big advantage of having God in your life, just knowing that you're not alone.